What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nakusoo, and today I will be showcasing a small adventure where your main objective is to save your sister, who's been captured and sent to the world known as Chromaland. Are you ready? Let's get started. Iris, developed by EtherealEquilibrium and released on May 14, 2014, is a 2D platformer where the main objective is to save your sister Siri as Iris as you travel to the dimension known as Chromaland. At the start of the game, I was really intrigued by the awesome art style that was used in this game. It was really clean, really crisp, and also it had a really nice art direction all the way throughout as the environments change from this nice serene area to a more darker tone where everything is dangerous out to kill you as you go through the obstacles and enemies in order to save your sister Siri. With the power of the divine weapon given to you, Appo. This weapon is the weapon that you mainly use throughout this whole adventure, and this is what grants you the use of a magical bow, and this is your main weapon that you use to fight and combat enemies and also use in different obstacles along the way. So for instance, the first obstacle that you really use this on is a boat that you travel across while trying to defend against these arching enemy tentacles or arms that come from the ceiling, and you kind of have to guess the right pattern and correction. And what really makes this kind of more unique with dealing with these enemies is you really can't see them, so you have to use this magical bow in order to reveal them, and then after that they have weak spots that you use with your arrow, which I found pretty cool and pretty different. So that was a nice refresher from just, fighting different enemies just normally without having to really think about it. And while the game is really well made, there is one thing that I really didn't like too much, and that was the difficulty of the game. Throughout the whole 20 to 25 minutes experience, I only died twice, and both of those times wasn't even due to the difficulty, it was due to just me not paying attention. You're given these crystals that act as a way to get your health back, but the issue I found was just not getting hurt by the enemies at all, because you can kind of spam your arrows. So I kind of wish there wasn't as many of these crystals that you collect to get your health back. And also on top of that, there are checkpoints that also restore your health. Either if the checkpoints with restoring your health went away and kind of reduced the amount of crystals, I kind of would have found more of a challenge with this game. But that's not to say it didn't entertain me, because it did, as I was more involved with the characters in this story. Even though it was really short, it was really interesting to just go around this land as the chapters kind of introduce you to different mechanics, and eventually later on when you get your upgraded bracelet of Appo, you're given the use of using a bigger arrow, for instance, or even using multiple arrows, which makes you feel really powerful. And I kind of like how the game makes you feel really powerful as you progress. That is something that some games kind of struggle with, so it was kind of nice seeing the developers kind of mess around, giving you some divine power by the goddess. The music in the game is also something that was really relaxing, calming, and at times it got intense when you got into different boss fights. Along with the art style they chose and the music, it really made a good combination to go together, and in each chapter you're introduced to a new song. So I found that really impressive, especially since this game was made in around 10 months, and it also did come in one of the finalists for the Independent Game Festivals of China in 2014. So congratulations for actually getting to one of the finalists for being in that, festival because there were other games like Nom Nom Galaxy which they had to rival against, but overall that was just something I found really impressive. Since 10 months to create this, it seems about right, but I would just definitely say this game is polished in the right ways. In the end, I had a blast playing through this game, just meeting these different characters and beings and kind of getting introduced to new elements along the way that didn't feel cheap, but you know, at the same time, as I mentioned, could have been much harder in execution. If you enjoy a game where you are trying to save someone, especially someone that you kind of care about, and if it's an adventure, especially a 2D platformer which has a lot of care put into it, definitely check out Iris, as it was one of the best indie games I found on Gamejolt so far this year. Here is a question of the day for you. If you had the choice of any weapon from any video game, which would you pick? For myself, it would probably be the Keyblade from the Kingdom Hearts series, as it would be pretty cool to wield a badass weapon while also having the power to go into different Disney worlds and kind of have that exploration and interaction with all of the characters. But I'm pretty sure some things will happen that will lead to me having to use the Keyblade in an epic battle, but in the end, I think that would be pretty cool. What about you? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comment section below, as I would love to hear them. If the content today did help you in discovering something new, or if you are curious to see what other games I will showcase in the future, then remember to shoot that dapper wolf subscribe icon. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there and keep discovering awesome. And a game with just that dedication by the developer. Oh my gosh. What the heck? Oh my goodness.